Hi, this is a foreigner living in the Philippines. We're looking at a subject it's an ongoing thing with anyone who intends to come out and live in the Philippines and find and marry what we assume always will be a good Filipino partner, Filipina, usually. Now, how can you know? There is no real way of knowing that what you're going to do is good. You know, once I did some hang gliding, and one of my questions was to the instructor, well, it's all very well getting up there, but how do we know that we're not going to come down unpleasantly? And he said, how you come down depends a lot on how knowledgeable you were when you went up. In other words, you get yourself trained at looking at signs, knowing what is going to happen or could happen. Obviously, knowing what is going to happen would be wonderful, but unless you have a crystal ball that that has a money-back guarantee on it, therefore being absolutely correct, I don't know how you can do that. Now, let's assume that you have married into a good relationship with a good partner who is supportive of you, does not demand too much, gives as much as she gets, all of those obvious things, that you have a good relationship, loving relationship with someone that you care for and are supportive of and are supported by. So now we've got a good marriage, okay? That's the assumption. Now, the following scenario is one which I hear over and over expats talking about, and that is, how do you deal with the fact that families have extended members who are going to come, and because they visualize or think that you are rich, which you're probably not rich in American standards, they're going to assume that you can give them money. So how do you deal with that? How you deal with it is very much dependent on how immersed you are in that family. How committed are you not to being married to a Filipina? That's easy. You'll find someone. You'll find someone who is lovely, who is probably a lot younger than you, who will support you in every way, and you will have a happy marriage. That's not a huge problem. That how you decide that you will be committed to her family, because make no mistake, you are not marrying one person. You're marrying into a family. But this is not just confined to a Filipina foreigner situation. This is confined, it's everybody in the world has a family. Everybody in the world has a mom and a dad and perhaps a brother and a sister, or many, and they are committed to those. When I first came into my relationship with my lovely wife, who I love dearly, she's smiling when she said that, when I said that, because she's holding the camera, I had difficulty with this, because people think that I'm wealthy, or did at first, until they learned that that's not true, and would ask, now, how do you deal with that? Well, at first I was typically foreigner. Well, you've got to, I mean, my old standby is, I would advise other people, what you have to do is you have to stand in front of the bathroom mirror for 5 minutes a day, practicing saying no. You know, that doesn't really work, because you've married a family, and anywhere in the world you will have married a family. And when I first started to have problems or difficulties, challenges in what to say when a family member would come up. If it was, say her brother, let's invent one, say her brother came up and asked for some help, I had to work out, well, what would I say if this was my brother? And I thought of my brother asking me for help. My God, he could ask me for anything, and if I possibly had it, I would give it to him. So what's the difference? My wife has brothers and sisters. The question is not whether I would help, but how can I best help according to my abilities, according to my resources. That was the key. As soon as I started to realize that all of her brothers and sisters, to some extent, are my family. Now, if you follow our videos, you'll know that I'm very close to several brothers and sisters who are there all the time for us. They're supportive of us, we're supportive of them. The people that donate to us are donating in many different ways. They're donating money which will be used to employ my brothers and sisters in the best way that they are able to return a good exchange. In other words, work for the money that they get. They get a fair exchange for it, and they're able to do something which they're able to do and put bread on and food on the table. So I have those people, and they have become very close to me. The turning point was when I committed to being close to them. So understand this: if you are going to marry a Filipina, or you're planning on finding one, or you found one and plan on marrying, or you've married, these people are not just people anymore, they're your family. Now I know that there will be the walking wounded, what I call the walking wounded. I'm not talking about these people in a negative way. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about people who have suffered badly, had a bad experience, and now are suffering a loss of faith in the possibility that they could still have a good marriage with a Filipina. And they are suffering and need to handle their loss of faith in whatever is best for them. They will overcome it. They have to find their faith again, have to find their trust again, and perhaps part of that trust is in trusting their own judgment. Because let's face it, if someone has just been through a bad scenario with another person, if they put it down to the wrong reason, in other words, whether that person was long, short, fat, thin, Filipino, Hispanic, Mexican, German, if they've got some ethnic figure attached to that, then they're going to have to handle that and realize that generalities don't work, and that they can still find, in whatever race or nation, they can find someone that they can love and who will love them. You have to decide that the family that you enter into as a foreigner husband is one which you can relate to, which you can trust, and which you can love. Notice all the emphasis here is on you. It's not about whether they're trustworthy. It's not about whether they will love you. It's not about whether they will ask too much. It's about whether you have decided that you will be part of that family. And that was the decider for me, is that I decided that this was my family. Now, it happens that I'm around the same age as my mother-in-law, but I consider my wife is laughing at that one. I consider that this is my chance to be a far better son-in-law than I ever was to my own mother. I realized my shortcomings in that area, and I try to be the best son-in-law that there ever was, and I really try, and I'm thankful for that opportunity to be able to try. So if you're coming and you want to marry a Filipina for their beauty, for their way, for their charm, for all of those things, that for their good motherly instincts, for all of those things, if you're coming for that, then it might be a good idea to consider that you should look at what your ability or what your commitment to being part of a family is. Are you committed to that? If you're not, then maybe you better just come here and grab a Filipina and take her back to England or take her back to America and find one that doesn't have a family. I don't know that there is such a person that living in the Philippines, because the Philippines is about family. If you want to come, maybe you should just decide that you're going to be part not just of a marriage, but of a family. Come and embrace that, and you will be happy to the extent that you do embrace it. I hope that helps. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Please like, please comment, please share. If you think there is someone who might benefit from knowing this information, or not necessarily information, but my viewpoint, which I don't always say is right. It's my viewpoint. That's how I look at it. Maybe it will help you to look at it the same or not. It's always your choice. Thanks for looking. Hope you will be seeing us again soon. Bye for now.